Hi guys, so this is the sixth video in the chapter 1 series. Today we'll be looking into something called as classification of products. So before moving on to the product, we'll first look what a production process is. So a production process is the process of producing a good or service in the business. Now, as a result of a production process, we receive something known as product. Now, what a product is? So basically, a product means anything that is offered to the market to satisfy needs and wants. Now, a product has a broad meaning. So as you can see, a product can be a good, service, ideas, events, persons, places, experience, organization, and even information. So now let's move on to the product categorization. Products are classified as shown in the diagram. So products are classified based on their tangibility, usage, and even durability. Now let's look into each category individually. First, we'll look into tangibility. So tangibility means whether the object could be touched and felt. For an example, you could touch a phone or even a pen, but it is very difficult to touch a service offered by a doctor or even an engineer. So with this basic understanding, we look into the two divisions. So there are two divisions under tangibility. One is good and the other is services. Now good means all tangible products that are manufactured by businesses. There are certain features of goods and these features define what a good is. So a good is tangible. So they basically could be touched and could be seen. They could also be separated from the owner. Now for an example, you are going for a shop and you see a book there and now you want to purchase it. So once you paid the money to the seller and receive it, the seller no longer have the right to take it back. So it now belongs to you. So the product is now separated from the owner to its consumer. The next feature is that the goods are durable. Now durable means they could be kept for some time. Now the time that could be kept for products may vary from product to product, but compared to a service, a good could be kept longer and it also could be stored. So another feature of the good is that goods tend to be homogeneous in nature. Now what does homogeneous means? So homogeneous means they tend to be identical, same, similar. Now let's look into an example to understand this further. Now let's say you are going to a shop to buy a pencil. Now when you enter the shop, let's take a particular brand. So you are going to buy a Nataraj pencil. Now when you go to the shop and you see the pencil section where they have kept the Nataraj pencils, you will see that every pencil looks the same. So that is one feature for goods. That is what makes it different from services. Now let's look into services features so that we could differentiate what goods and services are. So before looking into the features, let's look into what a service is. So service is any act that is done by one party to another and is intangible, and it is rather felt and experienced. So here you can't touch the services that is being provided, you can only feel and experience it. So there are two types of services. It could be a direct service or an indirect service. So a direct service means you receive the service directly from the service provider, like a doctor providing its medical treatment or a teacher providing its teaching. Now the next type is the indirect service. So here the producer and the consumer doesn't meet person to person. So what happens here is, let's look into an example. Now let's take insurance. So the insurance company itself does not come and meet the consumer or the customer. So rather what happens is, its representative comes and meet the customer and provide its services. So there is an indirect service, that is, the company and the consumer does not meet in person to person. Rather a representative is provided. So like goods, there are some features that define a service. So let's look at them individually. Now, as we discussed earlier, the service is intangible. The services cannot be touched but rather felt and experienced. So like a product like pen or a phone can be touched, but in a service like a teaching cannot be touched but rather felt. So the next feature is inseparability. Services cannot be separated from the service provider. So now let's look into an example. If you are interested in cricket, you might know that Kumar Sangakkara is famous for his cover drive. Now he is retired from all formats of cricket, but is his cover drive taken away from him? No, right? It remains with him only. Similarly, when a teaching takes place, so the students will be listening to the teacher. So does it means that the teacher's knowledge reduce and the students' knowledge increase? No, the teacher's knowledge remain the same, or it may even increase because of the questions that could be asked from the student. Likewise, the student's knowledge also increase. So here we can see that the based on the knowledge transfer, based on the service provided, the service cannot be separated from the service provider. I hope you understood with these examples. Now let's look into the next feature. Now the next feature of this service is that it is variable. So the services tend to be unique and differ from person to person. Now let's take an example. So we'll look into the telecommunication industry. So we have Dialog, Hutch, Airtel. So these kind of service providers all operate in the telecommunication industry, but the services provided differ from person to person. So the package they provide, then the call time, the data packages tend to be a little different to be competitive. Let's take another example. Now few students go to the same school. Okay, so once they graduated, they now study in the same group. For an example, let's take the same law. So they come out of the law college, completed their degree. Now their point of view will be definitely different from person to person. they their way of looking things, their way of sorting out things would be different, even though they come out from the same college. So that's a special feature that the service industry have. So the next feature of a service is that services tend to be perishable. So unlike goods, services cannot be stored for a long time. So it should be consumed when it is produced by the service provider. Now let's look into an example. Assume that there is an hotel who provides rooms for rent. So they charge 5,000 per room per day. And so assuming that there are 30 days in a month, the maximum amount the company could earn from that room is 150,000. But let's say it was only occupied for 20 days, then the balance 10 days the company had to bear the loss and cannot be recovered, since the service is perishable. But for a good, let's say you have 20 pens and sold only 18 pens, the balance 2 you could sell later by storing. But in the room's case, we cannot store the 10 days because the 10 days of the month is past, and each month on an average has 30 days except for February. So each month has on average 30 days. So once the days are gone, it's gone only. So you cannot keep the services stored. So it should be consumed as and when it is produced. So I hope with this example you are clear with the perishability concept. So now we are done with the tangibility side on the products category. So we'll look into the next categories in the next videos. So until that, please like, share and comment below your questions and keep supporting us. Cheers.